time for our Techspert. Dan Thompson is in the house. Abby, take it away.
Yes, he is. Thank you, Mike. Summer is fast approaching, and many folks are thinking about their summer travel plans. And with the various websites to rate hotels and trips, it can be hard to determine which one is best and which sites have credible information. So here to talk about how you can use social media to your advantage when planning a trip is our Techspert, Dan Thompson. Good morning.
Hello, hello.
A review isn't true?
I know.
It's
How
not
about
legit.
that?
I'm shocked. You know, it's funny because you see some of these people who review things are constantly at the top.
Right.
And it's like they've got some kind of status in the review world of online websites. You just never know what's credible and what's not.
Yeah, and it's getting harder and harder to tell. I read a review the other day. It was an article the other day, and it said that by next year, approximately 10% of all reviews online will be fake. I'm not quite sure how they're getting those numbers, but I mean, it seems logical. So to talk about travel a little bit, used to when I would plan my travels, I would use TripAdvisor.com very heavily. And it's just a wonderful site. There's just all kinds of information on there. But what people have been noticing as of late is that there's a lot of fake reviews on there. So like we were just talking about, how do you know what's good, what's bad? As an example, last month, a group in, we assume, Scotland, created a new TripAdvisor site for a homeless shelter, and they called it a hostel. And then a group of them started voting it up, and it eventually became one of the top 5 places to stay in Glasgow, Scotland. So, I mean, here you've got this homeless shelter that's now supposedly one of the most popular places to stay. Obviously, it's a tragedy because that's just not good for anybody.
You don't want to overwhelm the homeless shelter.
Right, or just show up thinking that it's a hostel. So,
yeah.
So it really kind of brought to light, okay, well, now what do we do that people are gaming the system and so on? So one of the things that I recommend is still use TripAdvisor to kind of get ideas, and then use people's blogs to validate those ideas. So if you see a site that sounds neat, try to find people who are blogging about it, because likely the travel community has said something about it. Another great thing to do is use Twitter. Now if you're familiar with Twitter, this won't be anything new to you, but they have the hashtags, which are ways to search, right? So there's a hashtag called RTW, and it stands for Round the World. And what these are people who have literally quit their jobs, and all they do now is travel around the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's go. Let's sign up today. So anyway, it's totally fascinating to me that people do this. But anyway, they're obviously always on the go. They've been to tons and tons of places, and you can talk to these people. And that's kind of the key, is that you can interact with them, ask them questions. A lot of them, or most of them, will respond. So it's a great way to sort of validate what you've seen on TripAdvisor or maybe other sites, and now you're talking to somebody who you know has been there. They can send you pictures. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's just a great way to just confirm what you were thinking.
Dan, we're out of time, but real quickly, touch on scams out there. You have to be careful when you're booking online.
That's right. You always have to be careful, and the internet kind of makes scamming that much easier because we're just kind of used to transactions that don't involve people, and so people begin to think, oh, well, maybe I could spend a couple $1,000s that way. I'd recommend using caution. At least call the people, interact with them somehow, and make sure it's legitimate, because it is so easy to get scammed these days. It's hard to tell a legitimate place from one that's not.
You can also use the local travel agent.
That's right. That's always a good way to do it.
All right, Dan Thompson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. The ultimate man, folks. He won that dubious distinction yesterday. Well, you're watching Mornings with Box 43. We'll be right back. All he had to do was wrestle an elephant in alligator-infested waters. Crazy.
Now